records. Smell the cover, read all the verses. Tell me about your favorites on vinyl and vision.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? I'm your host, Jimmy Drab. This is my show, Vinyl and Vision. This is episode 31 with my very special guest, Hutch Harris. So how are you doing? How are you feeling? Would you possibly be going through a breakup? Are you having all those feels? Well then, listen to this.
Some of us trace a path. Some of us walk free. Some cross a river when there's no river left to see. But nobody lasts too long, and nobody gets too far. But some of us know what we want, and some of us know who we are. One day, I wish you would have stayed, but
It's the song called No River Left off of Hutch Harris's solo debut record, Only Water, released in 2018. It's a self-produced album available through Bandcamp. I encourage you all to visit Bandcamp, search Hutch Harris, and follow his profile, subscribe to it, and that way you can get updates on what he's doing. He will be releasing a newly remastered project from 20 years ago. He used to be in a band called Urban Legends. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't. I did not know. But 20 years ago, Urban Legends had released a record, and he has some copies of that on vinyl, which is cool. And he is remastering the original tapes to re-release it digitally, which will also be available through Bandcamp. So, like I was saying, sign up for that. Sign up for his emailing list, and therefore you will be informed when that is available. It should be sometime in September, I believe he said. No specific date was given, but if you do that, you can find out more about it and find out when it becomes available. I will be checking it out when it comes out. For those of you who know Hutch as the singer and songwriter for the band The Thermals, here's a little sample of that music.
So bend your knees and bow your heads. Save your babies, here's your future. Yeah, here's your future.
The song is called Here's Your Future. It's the opening track to the Sub Pop's 2006 release, The Body, the Blood, the Machine, which was my introduction to the band Thermals, and I have since devoured the rest of their catalog and thoroughly enjoy all of it. It's all great. It's all good, really great music. It's really fun, power pop, punk music. It's super energetic and exciting, and I encourage you all to go find some of that as well. It's all available in all the digital platforms, and I'm sure that if you go to the websites of the labels that represent each of those albums, the first three were on Sub Pop, the second two were on Kill Rock Stars, and then the final two were on Saddle Creek. So if you visit those websites for those labels, I'm sure that they have copies available. I have not checked, but I'm pretty sure they're probably there. I encourage you to pick up any of those because I've listened to all of them, and all of them are great. I was very honored to have Hutch on the show. He was a great, gracious guest, and he decided to choose the album Suicide Invoice by Hot Snakes, which is a very cool one. I was very intrigued when he picked that record because I am personally very familiar with that record as well, which was released in 2002. I heard it around that time as well, and I am also a very, very big fan of that band. So, enjoy our conversation. We tackle a whole range of things. Thank you for tuning in. Please do all the things you do with the internet, especially rate, review the show wherever it is that you are tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe to our feeds wherever you can find them. I encourage you please to go to our website, psychicstatic.net, which is a link for everything that we do, a little bit more information about the show and our record store. If you want to purchase a record or any merch, that is also encouraged. We would really appreciate it. It keeps us going. So thank you again for tuning in. and enjoy our show. So, how you been?
Pretty good, considering everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about being in quarantine now. I mean, I think that this is this your first interview you've done since quarantine or no?
Yeah, pretty much. I did one thing for a book that's not going to be like published as an interview, so this is like, yeah, this is the only one I've done, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then I'd love to kind of hear what you're doing to pass the time currently.
So, life hasn't been super different for me because when I work at home anyway.
Right.
I'm in my studio now, which is small, so when I have clients here, it's usually just like one or two people at a time. I was working on a record for one person before quarantine started, and so we worked up until like maybe I don't know when it was, maybe the last week of March, and then we didn't feel comfortable working anymore. So I just went back. I started recording a record here in January, so I just went back to that. So I've done a lot of recording, this whole year and since quarantine started. But mostly besides that, I just kind of hang out with my dog, go to the park, go to the river sometimes.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Right. I mean, how do you feel about it anyway? Like, I mean, are you you're in a safe environment, you feel like, because you're at home all the time, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm always home, and Oregon overall has had a pretty easy time so far. Like, it hasn't gotten super crazy here.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, I was pretty paranoid the first couple months of quarantine, and then have been less so. But yeah, really, I mean, I'm trying to think. The only place I really go is like the grocery store. The only place where I have to go inside somewhere is just like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah, most if I go out, I'm like just like taking my dog outside somewhere just to walk or to go to the park. So yeah, it's been weird. I have, I'll see friends kind of more. I feel like I think like a lot of people, the first couple months, first 2 or 3 months, I didn't see anyone. And now I kind of see people regularly, usually just kind of one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like the backyard.
Yeah. Distanced. Yeah. All that stuff. So you were saying earlier about having people, like having clients. Is it because you are recording people and you're still producing work, or what?
Yeah, but it stopped. I mean, the guy I was working with, he came back. We were like only like 3 or 4 days away from finishing his record. So he eventually, because he also, like, I live alone and he lives alone too. So eventually we kind of felt safe for both of us to kind of get back together and finish the record. But besides that, like, I'm not looking to find new clients to come record, and I don't think most people are looking to go record somewhere either.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of you being on halt, I guess, from work, right?
Yeah.
Now, writing and performing wise for you, like what's happening there, or what's not happening, I should say.
I was supposed to be in Europe like now.
Oh.
I had a tour that was booked, and the main show was this big festival in Croatia on the coast. And when that got canceled, the whole tour, I mean, I think, I wasn't going to be doing any club shows anyway with all this going on. So that all got canceled like in April, and is supposedly, I mean, it is rebooked for August of 2021.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. Like, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be like any definitive answers coming anytime quickly.
I know, and I keep seeing like the people that book me in Europe, they were working on Bikini Kill shows that were supposed to happen in like June or July, I think. And then I saw they were like rescheduled, I don't know for when, maybe this fall. I think it all seems pretty optimistic, I think.
Yeah.
To reschedule anything. Although, I mean, they are doing better than us over there, but at the same time, people in Germany are like my agent's in Berlin, and I feel like they're going to, the places in Europe are starting to have outbreaks again. And then you have people in Germany, you have like big rallies, like anti-mask, anti-COVID rallies, like.
Right.
Yeah, So,
Huh.
yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with that. But I have been writing and recording a lot
Cool.
here. Yeah, which is great. Which I
Yeah.
really like.
Yeah, because the last recording you put out is the your debut solo record, right?
Mhm.
Only Water is what it's called.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So are you planning on doing another solo record kind of soon, or just kind of
Yeah, I
preparing?
have like 7 songs finished.
Oh, cool.
So I need like at least 3 more. Um, and I think I'll probably release it like just later this year, October or November.
Oh,
Like
okay.
my feeling is there's no huge rush to release something. Like it's
Right.
such a weird time to be releasing records.
Yeah.
Just because of everything that's happening in the country and the world,
Mm-hmm.
and then also you can't go tour with it. But as soon as it's done, I'll probably just put it out because why not?
Right. Yeah. I mean that sounds fine. I mean I understand your kind of like apathy for releasing stuff if you can't go promote it. I guess
Right.
But I don't know. Like I was just telling you about Will Johnson. He just put a record out on Friday, and I don't know how his sales are going. But I mean, even like more so than what your sales are like. I mean, you're just putting it out, and people have the opportunity to kind of feed on it because some other people are trapped at home too, or feel like they're trapped at home,
For sure.
and it's just nice to kind of get some new material out there. Like for
Yeah,
us to hear
yeah.
as fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, what do you think about the vinyl thing? Because so the new album is not out on vinyl right now, and you don't have any plans to release it on vinyl.
No, I. It's funny because I just found a bunch of. I'm gonna re-release. I did a record about 20 years ago that was called Urban Legends, and a label called Jealous Butcher in town, in Portland.
Yeah.
They like found a bunch of old copies of it just in their stock wherever they keep stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's great. I should put that. I should like get the old, get the digital files. I'll put it on Bandcamp and I'll sell the vinyl. So I am going to put that up, I think, next month. But as far as putting new stuff on vinyl, I don't have I know there's a demand for it,
Mm.
but just like dealing with the stock and dealing with boxes of records, like I like having stuff on vinyl. I like having my own stuff on vinyl.
Right.
And my records, like the last one and the new one, I know eventually I will have it on vinyl. But working without a label, like there hasn't been a huge, like I don't love the idea of just having to deal with the actual product myself.
Right. Because then you have to kind of do the self distribution thing, which means you're just holding all of that product.
Right.
And
And I
we're-
don't like going to the post office, but just I don't like having a room full of boxes of records.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Well, with that being said, I mean, are you going to consider, or have you considered, like possibly doing your solo work through a label?
I had talked to like a few labels for Only Water, but then after I don't know, like I wasn't excited about doing Bandcamp.
Right.
I don't know why.
Huh.
But as soon as I did it, I really liked it. And then I kind of like them even more now because they do all the days where they don't take a cut.
Right.
Yeah, and all the it was something I was apprehensive about, but now I really like using it. So
Right.
I kind of like I wasn't gonna approach labels about the new record. I was just gonna put it out on Bandcamp. If a label ever approaches me, and I think it's a good deal, and I think it's gonna be good for the record, I could see doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But so far that didn't happen for the last record, and I was still approached by labels after it came out on Bandcamp, and it just didn't seem like the deal that I was getting on Bandcamp was better than anything else
Right.
that I was looking at. So for now, I'm gonna stay on Bandcamp.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it.
Great. So let's see. First of all, I gotta say thank you for doing this. I know that we kind of started so instantaneously.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's just an honor to have you here because so I'm a relatively new fan, is what I told you.
Cool.
So the way I actually got turned on to the thermals was I'm in record resale business.
Uh-huh.
So I do that, on the side, and I got one of your records in a lot of records that I bought. So I didn't know it was in there, And
Nice.
one of the great aspects of doing this kind of work is just like I get just to expose myself to a lot more music than I would have on my own. And so that record, well, actually it was The Body, Blood, and Machine
Cool.
that was in there. And so I never even saw it. So, sifting through them, the first thing I noticed, of course, was the artwork. And I was just like, oh, this is pretty interesting looking, and I was just like, I'm definitely going to want to listen to this, so I was like, you get a whole stack of stuff. You're like, okay, what do I want to put on first, So eventually I get to it, and I thought it was great. I mean, it was just like initial first response, first listen too, which is kind of, I think that's pretty unique to...
yeah, it's rare for me too. Yeah.
And I immediately was just like, it hit a chord with me. I think that, I don't know what it was exactly about it, like maybe some of the vocals. I think I'd really admire the way you sing, actually.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because I'm not a good singer, and I've always been told I'm not a good singer. And
Great.
and you sound like your voice when you perform sounds like the way people that have kind of try to be nice and give me nice criticism say how to perform. Like
Right.
you're putting your all behind it. Like you're not kind of like meeking or squeaking it out at all. Like you're just like full on. And and that's great. And so I think it's very powerful.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and then so then the second record I got, because that one sold. I'm sorry, I sold that record.
Oh,
So-
cool. I hope you got paid for it.
Well, I mean, it's nickel and diming here and there, really. But
Right.
I actually came across another one of your records. I came across the first one on Kill Rock Stars. The what's it called again?
Now we can see.
Yes. So now I was actually excited. Now I was just like, oh, I got another Thermals record. Cool.
Right.
So yeah, so I did. I mean, Diggs did the same thing. I put it on. I was just like, yeah, this is a good record. This is a good band, And so I kind of went back into your catalog digitally and found all the other stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
Cool.
you have 7 full-length records with the Thermals now.
Yeah, there were 7. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that I'm doing more, and now that I was doing more research on you, I've noticed all these other bands that you've been part of as well. I mean, I listened to Hutch and Kathy before.
Oh, cool.
So that's also good. Like, all of your music is kind of along the same realm, Like,
For sure.
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's I guess the newer stuff, because the new record I listened to this morning, actually, and a little bit more somber tone to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that it sounds like it's going to be an amazing breakup record. Like if I were going through, and I mean, I'm married right now, and I'm not anywhere near there, but I mean, if I were, I was just like, I would want to put this on.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I think it covers all the feels, and like, yeah, it's like it reminds me of like the last breakup I can think of. I was just like, yeah, it kind of like sums up all those feelings in a really nice way.
Well, for me, it was like I had gone through a breakup, and I was also trying to go through like all the breakups I'd ever had in my life, and try to like draw all of those at the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And
so it's kind of, I feel like it gives it kind of more variation.
Right. I didn't know if when you were saying that you also meant because of the band, because you had broken up the Thermals as well.
Yeah, it was right after that, but I wasn't really thinking. I think I actually wrote a lot of those songs before the band broke up. I think. I'm forgetting now. But
Yeah. Well, you write a lot, because like I was saying, the other bands too. I found what was it called, Forbidden Friends?
Yeah.
And I mean, you have a number of singles with that name.
Yeah, there were a few singles, and that was while the Thermals were still going. I think it's like 2011 and 12, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but so it seems like you're very prolific. You just kind of...
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like writing.
You write a shit ton all the time.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Well, so I asked you on the show tonight to discuss a record that had influenced you, and you chose the Hot Snakes' Suicide Invoice.
Yeah.
So why did you choose that record?
That was really the first thing. Actually, the first thing that sprang to mind was the Breeders, like Pod or Last Splash.
Oh,
but
okay.
I feel like I've like picked those almost every single time I do an interview like about a specific record. I just feel like I thought, oh, Pod. And then I was like, no, I feel like I just talk about Pod every single time.
Oh, yeah.
And then Hot Snakes just kind of popped in my head. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's actually Kathy from the Thermals and I were listening to that record a lot before we made or when we were writing and recording The Body, the Blood, the Machine.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of appropriate, I think. But yeah, it just kind of popped into my head. It's just one of those records And I love all their records, but that record specifically, um, yeah, it's just such a memorable record.
Hmm.
Just like, yeah, just one of the best, I think.
Yeah, can you tell me about like the first experience you had listening to it? Like, do you remember where you were or what you were doing?
I feel like Kathy and I were driving, and she had like the CD of it. Because what did that? I forget. I mean, it's an old record now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it
But
looked
yeah,
pretty much the same. The yellow cover with the ocean wave underneath, with the phone on top, with the
yeah,
scissor.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that, all that art is done by Rick Froberg from the band.
the singer, right? The singer and guitarist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, there's something, and John Reese does all. I'm pretty sure he records, and he produces like all their records, and it's such it's such like a blast when that the record just starts out, with someone just like noodling on either. I always thought it was bass, but I was listening to it again today. I was thinking it's probably guitar. I don't even know if it's guitar or bass, but it's such like this kind of small, but kind of like sinister sounding intro, and then when that whole band just blasts in, it's just like such a good first track. And then I Hate the Kids, just like that sentiment and that lyric as like a way to start the first song on your first record. Just the fact that they were already, I mean, they weren't that old when that record came out, but they had already like been through so much. Just the fact that they already like thought of themselves as old men, whereas that he like thought of himself as like a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
But here was this new punk band, but at the same time they're kind of already like burned out and grumpy and bitter.
Yeah, well, it seems like they had a pretty long musical career in front of them, like before the Hot Snake started.
Right.
Being in bands like Pitchfork and Drive Like
Right.
Jehu. Those are
And
the
Rocket,
two.
and John was in Rocket from the Crypt. So like Kathy
right.
had like turned me on to them because she had been like a massive Rocket from the Crypt fan, and she was kind of a huge fan of like whatever, like any, because John Reese has done. I mean, both of those guys have done a ton of bands. John had a band called the Night Marchers. I don't know if you know them.
I don't
They
know.
came through Portland. I mean, a lot of this stuff feels recent, but it's probably like 15 or 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the Hot Snakes coming through Portland. It was probably 2001 or 2. Yeah, it's crazy to think how long ago that was. But yeah, Kathy, we're both from San Jose, California, and Rockets from the Crypt, obviously they're from San Diego, but they were just like really popular in San Jose, because San Jose, the punk scene, there's like a really big rockabilly scene in San Jose for whatever reason. And there's a good punk scene. Yeah, and there's a lot of goths. I mean, this is off the subject. There's a ton of goths in San Jose. But yeah, Rockets from the Crypt kind of had that perfect vibe of like punk with kind of like a rockabilly vibe, or at least like a rockabilly look.
Yeah.
So they were really popular in the in like South Bay. And so Kathy always worked in record stores. She worked in record stores in San Jose and Sunnyvale. And then when we moved here, she worked in everyday music in Portland. So she always would hear stuff first. And so she was, because we dated and lived together. Now it's like 19 years ago, like 97, 98, 2000. She was always bringing home records.
Yeah.
She would always hear the record first, bring it home. And so she knew everything before I did, before like anyone else did.
Right. Yeah, that's the benefit of working in the record store.
Right.
Oh, so that's cool.
Just hear it all first.
Yeah.
Yes, she brought home, or I don't know if we were still living together, but she definitely heard, she got that Hot Snakes record right when it came out.
Cool.
And played it for me.
Yeah, that's great. Before we get into the record, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your listening history. So are you a vinyl record collector or listener?
I'm not a collector. I have a bookcase of records. I definitely used to have a lot more. I feel like over the years, I've just kind of like everything I own, I've just kind of sold a lot of it just to, I don't know, to simplify.
Right.
But I don't. Yeah, but I don't collect vinyl. Or I'll keep a lot of records that like friends, like my friends' bands,
Exactly.
or like records people gave me. Yeah, like it's more records that have a
Sentimentality.
yeah, some kind of like sentimental value.
Right. That's what I'm trying to avoid. See, but now that I'm doing the show and talking to all these guys, I'm just like, oh, well, now that he gave it to me, I don't want to sell it. I'm not going to sell it.
Right, yeah. Now you're stuck with it.
Now I feel bad that I've sold your records. Now I'm just like, I should have held on to those. Why did I bother?
You can always get them again. Fuck.
Yeah. Maybe next time it comes around, I'll just keep it.
Where do you buy lots of records?
Sometimes I search the internet for like online auctions. Sometimes there's local auctions that happen, which are kind of nice. I would prefer to do that. I try to hit estate sales and stuff like that sometimes, and pray off the dead. It's unfortunate. Right. It's not a really glamorous business,
Right. No.
But I don't know. I mean, like at some point, like if I were to get like an actual store, which I don't think I really want to do, but if I do, I guess I would look into actually like picking up new records from distributors and stuff like that. I hear that the price, like the profit margin is so thin. It's just like
it's like 10%, I think.
Yeah, it's like what's the point of having the store and selling new records if I can't make a profit off of them?
Yeah, I had a friend who just opened a store in Chicago like right before the pandemic. He seemed, I mean, they're hanging in there, but I was already like, you're crazy. Like, why are you? Yeah, I can't imagine trying to make it. Trying to live off it anyway. Right.
So what was your like listening history like growing up? Like, so growing up in San Diego, you said? No.
San Jose.
San Jose, I'm sorry. Family life, as a kid, I know your father was a musician, correct? Pianist?
Yeah, dad's a musician. So a lot of like Broadway, a lot of like show tunes.
Oh, wow.
That's like the kind of stuff my dad's like playing at home. Like Tin Pan Alley stuff, like George Gershwin, Irving Berlin. A lot of like 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s show tunes like Guys and Dolls and Annie Get Your Gun. Later stuff like Les Mis. I mean, I still like a lot of that stuff, and I still listen to stuff like that. But then he loved the Beatles too, so
okay.
The Beatles we listened to like always growing up. And then not a lot of other like rock music or like rock pop stuff in the house. My mom loved Queen, so we listened to Queen a lot. But it wasn't until like junior high and high school when I got like most of the rock and pop that I heard I had to go out and find because it wasn't I wasn't hearing it at home.
Right.
So like junior high was a lot of like Van Halen, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and then I got into punk in high school, and it was like Op Ivy, Minor Threat, Misfits, Subhumans, Crass, Exploited, and then at the end of high school got into a lot of the stuff because we were just south of San Francisco and Oakland where like when I'm graduating high school it's like 93 and it's like Green Day has just gotten huge. Jawbreaker, all the pop punk stuff in California or just punk, Bad Religion, No Effects. And then kind of got more into like all the smaller bands that are kind of playing around like in the punk scene in like San Jose and San Francisco.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So now, were your parents at least listening to that music on vinyl at home, or were they listening?
Yeah, actually, they totally were. Yeah, and I have a lot of the vinyl I still have left is from my dad's collection. So there's actually there's a lot of like show tunes. There's actually a lot of like old jazz too. Like old Herbie Hancock, which I love. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of like classical in there, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of his like Beatles records were so shredded from just him playing them so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably still have some. I think a lot of them are not even that listenable. It's funny because I listened to Rubber Soul the other day just on my phone, but like on Spotify. But there's one song that I used to always listen to on vinyl at my parents' house, and I still remember there's a place where it would skip,
Oh.
and even when I listen to it on my phone, like I still hear that skip.
You're waiting
It's
for it.
like something I got so used to hearing.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny because my parents they like sold their house and moved to a condo like a couple years ago, and they got rid of like everything, but they sent me a bunch of their old vinyl.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny that whole thing that like phantom skipping or something, that noise like disturbance. I remember like when I was a kid, my I don't know if it was my parents or my brothers, but we had a copy of the Clash, London Calling, and I remember at one point like the tape like would got chewed and it like flipped over. So then
right.
like at a certain point in the song, you would just all of a sudden hear this really weird distorted backwards like side B like start playing,
right.
and then it was just like, oh, now we gotta flip the tape, you know. But so now I expect that to happen every time I hear the card cheat by the Clash.
Yeah, you'll just like never forget that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool, but you know, kind of ruins it for me almost when I'm actually listening to a new copy.
It's annoying too, probably.
Yeah. So no, you said your parents didn't listen to a lot of rock music. So, and junior high was when you were getting into rock music. Were you buying your own music, or because you have siblings too, don't you?
I have a younger sister. Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
okay.
going to like. I remember like buying like Huey Lewis 4 on cassette.
Oh, nice.
But that's way younger. That's probably like 8 or 9. I do like my aunt and uncle. They like gave us each like $10 to go pick out a cassette, and my sister got Madonna like a virgin, and she's lying there like in a lingerie wedding dress, you know, like on the cover.
Right.
And my sister was like younger than me, so my sister was probably like 6 or 7, and my parents being like, "Oh God," but then they didn't take it away, so they still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so buying cassettes, and then I remember like I always had jobs. Like I had a paper route, or I worked at like Carl's Jr. I like always had jobs even when I was young. So I would, I remember like going to buy CDs a lot. Like I remember getting like a Genesis CD or buying like Van Halen CDs when I was like 14, 15.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Great. Okay, well, I guess we should probably get into this record.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with the first song, I Hate the Kids. I remember it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were actually mentioning how that intro comes in and that weird like noise, right?
Yeah, I think it's a
melodica.
What's that?
A melodica.
Yeah, melodica. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I thought that I remember that listening to like that. I didn't know what a melodica was when I first heard this record, but I have since bought one, and I actually have one now, and it's a really weird thing to play. Have you ever played one?
Yeah, I mean it has the tube that you blow into.
Yeah,
right?
you got to blow in and press the keys at the same time, but it doesn't have a good tone. It doesn't have like a piano tone. It has like a harmonica tone almost.
Right. A lot of them sound kind of like a toy instrument.
Right. Yeah, definitely. But so I thought that was a weird touch for this record, especially because like I didn't know what to expect. This was my first listening experience of Hot Snakes as well. Back in it came out in 2002, and then so I think that's probably
2002. Okay.
Yeah. 2002 on Swami Records, I should say, which is John Reese's label.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think the melodica comes back. I think it's just on that track.
I think it is. Yeah. I just listened to their new record today as well, and I realized that they did bring back some melodica.
Oh, they did.
But
yeah, I gotta check in. Is the record that came out like last year or
the year before? It was 2018, technically. Yeah.
I gotta check in with it because it's so good. But then I kind of didn't. It's like a lot of bands when they kind of have their like when they reform and do a record. I feel like it's usually not so hot, but theirs was really good.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But I kind of like just go back to the old records.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did today. I mean, I gave it a listen. I was just like, this is weird. It's a weird new record. You know, I mean, it's a Hot Snakes record. So if you like Hot Snakes, then I think you'll like that record. But I think that there is some weird, like, it's almost like they went through a little bit of like a psychedelic bender. Like Rick's voice sounds a little strange, like not like aged, but just like he's straining it in a different way.
Right.
You know, it's got a weird, more of a twangy like tinge to it. It's strange.
Yeah. I felt. Did you listen to Obits?
I
His
didn't.
band.
No.
It's his band on Sub Pop that's after Hot Snakes, and it is kind of that. It has kind of that twangy, like surfy. It's definitely more surfy than like Hot Snakes, but
Right.
it's really good.
Yeah. No, I like it. I
But yeah,
mean,
melodica is something I associate it with being on like dub records, like Augustus Pablo or like King Tubby. It seems to show up. I also think of it as being one of these instruments that's just like in a studio sitting around. The studio owns it, and they're like, someone's like, "Hey, let's put melodica on this
Right.
song." So I was wondering, maybe in John's studio, it's just like sitting there, and someone's like, "Let's try melodica," and it worked, because I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of times I've been in the studio with the band when they're like, "Let's try this weird instrument." You're like, "Okay," and then they try it, and it's not really. It's fine, but you don't need it,
no.
and so you move on. But yeah, with this song, yeah, it
works.
worked.
Yeah, for sure. It's coming back. It's definitely an instrument that I think is receiving a lot more criticism
Oh, really?
and praise.
Yeah.
Like Faith No More was using it for a little while.
Cool.
Like at
Right.
least live. I don't know if they were recording with it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things that you got to bring back. Do you think you can compose a whole song with just melodica?
I don't know. I think it's one of those ones where I'd pick it up and be like, "This is really cool" for like 30 seconds, and then just like a minute later, just not be into it at all. Just
Yeah.
put it down.
I think the problem with it is that it's so loud. Like I don't like
Yeah,
playing it because it
yeah.
hurts my ears because it's like you can't get any different type of tone out of it.
Yeah, it's like a harmonica is the same way in that like nothing is quite living in that same like whatever frequency that is. Like I used to work at this coffee shop that was next door to a bar, and they were always playing Bob Dylan. But we had our record on too. We were listening to music, and then they would be listening to Bob Dylan, and I knew they were playing Bob Dylan because all I would hear was a harmonica just coming through like super loud.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, that's crazy that on that record, like that's it just cuts through whatever frequency that is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if you ever listen to that on CD, forget it. Listening to
Right.
Bob Dylan on CD, like the harmonica is the worst.
Is it just painful?
It is, yeah, it's really
Yeah.
bad. So
Yeah.
we should probably get into something else from the record.
Okay.
Gar Forgets His Insulin is next. This song's kind of funny. I was listening to it again today, and I knew that it was like something silly, but now I kind of put it together as just like, oh, like this is some weird, depressing like joke song at the bass player Gar.
Right.
I am assuming he's diabetic.
I know, yeah, you would assume, like, I'm not sure, yeah, but, yeah, is it just like it's just like an inside joke?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Like,
Right.
Gar almost died once on tour, yeah, this is basically what
Right.
would have happened to him. And we would have been like,
Right.
whatever, he doesn't listen, he never learns, doesn't bring his insulin. But it's a great rockin' song. So I think a weird thing about this record is that there's no bass. Or there's very, very little bass on this record. Like, they use that organ instead.
Oh, right.
There's some, B something organ that or I forget the name of it.
Like a B3? Well,
Yeah.
like when they tour, they have their sound guy has an organ at the booth,
Yeah.
and he plays all those parts. And live, it's awesome. It's so huge. I don't know if they. I don't know for sure. I would guess that they probably have like some MIDI. I shouldn't even guess. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's something small that he can just have with him at the booth. And when they kick it on, live, it's just huge. It sounds
Really?
massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Nothing
it's so
like
low. It doesn't seem like. I'm sure like most people in the audience don't know. Like I didn't know because I saw them a bunch of times and I didn't know until someone told me. Oh yeah, it's their sound guy playing that. It's just something more like you feel how big it is.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I was actually wondering about that because I never got to see these guys live. Obviously, you have.
Yeah, I'm sure. What's so funny? Because I missed them the very last time. They came just as stuff was starting to get locked down. And the guy who was actually making his record with me had gone to the show, and he said, they were joking about. He's like, thanks to everyone for coming out and risking your life to see this show. But I've seen them a bunch. They played Portland a lot over the years. I think I saw them probably like 3 years ago was like the last time.
Yeah.
It was super good though. It's always great. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I'll definitely try to see them next time they come through if that ever happens again.
I know. Fuck if it ever does.
I think you're in a good place right now for that because I mean, you're focusing on doing the solo work. So,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
idea of doing a small acoustic show somewhere, at like distance, you can kind of like separate
Like
people
outside, it'll happen.
outside
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad. I can't imagine if I had like a bunch of tour. I had a tour canceled, but it was not like that's because when thermals were active, we were touring like 6 or 7 or 8 months a year. So I can't imagine like having that kind of like having to cancel all that.
Right.
But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, right. Now, that actually reminds me. So, you are actually also pursuing a comedic career.
I did for a while, and then I kind of had enough.
Yeah.
It's maybe that's like another thing where like, who knows when that's coming back? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. It is fun. But if I had to choose, I would just work on music.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, you don't think you will continue with that?
I don't like doing stand up is fun, but it's not. I don't know. It's definitely it needs the commitment of like going out like almost every night and
Right.
doing like multiple sets a night if you can. And I like if I was a lot younger, I think I would have gone for it, but not.
Not now.
Yeah, I like. If I liked, I don't want to go to a bar every night, or I don't want to go to a bar like any night usually. But there's definitely moments where I would like kind of miss, or I just think of something that I thought was funny, and wish that I could go like say it on stage somewhere. But
Right.
it's kind of when all that stuff comes back, it'll be what I like about comedy is you can just decide that morning. I think I'll go do an open mic, or you can do it like that night. Man, I think I'll just go talk on a mic for 5 minutes,
Right.
and get it out of your system.
Is Portland good? Like, do you have a lot of clubs there?
Yeah, I mean, there's like it's more of like DIY ish type spaces,
Well, yeah.
or like like basements of restaurants, or
It's like Fight Club, Jesus.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the bars, but there's a lot of like open mics.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene. It's like anything else where like people get good and then they move to New York or LA. So the scene kind of turns over like every couple years. So I'm not sure what it looks like these days. But yeah, it was always pretty fun.
Yeah. So, who are a couple of your favorite performers right now, comedian-wise?
To me, like all time, probably like I loved Chris Rock. Like Chris Rock is just one of my favorite. I just love
Yeah.
like everything he did. But I don't know, but I haven't like paid as much attention. I don't know, for a couple of years. It's kind of a thing where I like really like loved it for a while, and then I kind of just like burned out
Yeah.
pretty hard. I just burned out on just like watching stand up, just because so much of it is similar, and I just I got just kind of tired of it.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. So maybe we'll move on to the next song,
Okay.
XOX.
Yeah, a lot of these songs I have no idea like what he's singing about. I didn't realize that Gar was like supposed to have died in
the last song?
Gar forgets his insulin.
Yeah, I never really thought about
So
it
good
either.
though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, these guys are pretty funny. I mean, they have a pretty good sense of humor when it comes to lyrics. It seems. I mean,
Right,
like,
right. And
I'm-
they've also known each other for so long. They must have like that kind of rapport with each other.
yeah. They, like from what the little bit that I've heard about them, like doing like listening to some interviews, they seem like a pretty jokey bunch.
Yeah.
Like a lot of inside jokes, a lot of kind of like just these phrases, like these just inside joke phrases with them, like. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never been big for analyzing lyrics either. Anyway.
Yeah, me
But-
neither. Yeah.
But now that I'm like, kind of giving this, like, if I give this record like a specific listen, like a trying to kind of like piece it together or like see what's going on a little bit more in depth than like the first listens I gave this back in like 2002.
Right.
I've been grasping a little bit more, but for the most part, I think this is a humorous record. So therefore,
Yeah.
I don't want to overthink it.
Right. I mean, Suicide Invoice is it's dark, but it's a pretty humorous title.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that you said you're not doing comedy anymore, but like, what is that like? The juxtaposition between musician and comedian.
What I loved about it was like when you're playing in a band, there's so much noise on stage, and you can kind of like hide behind it, and it kind of protects you too. Like there's like when you're doing stand up, you're just all alone on stage, and it's just silence. If you're not saying something and no one's laughing, there's just absolute silence. Which is really cool. You have so much more control. I mean, you have control either way, but there's just something about being like so naked up on stage with just you and whatever you're gonna say. And like if you're playing in a band and the song doesn't go well, you just play the next song.
Right.
And usually people clap at the end of the song anyway, even if it wasn't that hot. But when you're doing stand-up, if a joke doesn't land, it's just silence, and you are just stuck with it. And you can move on, but it's so you're going for such a specific reaction with comedy, whereas it's not like that with music. With music, you're like playing these songs for people, and they mean something to you, but they could mean so many different things to an audience, or it could mean nothing. But with comedy, you're like, I need you to laugh, or I want you to. This very specific reaction. And if you don't get it, it can be super awkward. It can be awkward anyway.
Oh, yeah, right.
And also 5 minutes can feel like a lifetime. It can feel so long. You can bands play for like an hour and a half, and it can just feel really long, especially if you're not doing well.
Really, yeah. That's something I didn't put into perspective. Thank you for sharing that. For anyone out there that's interested in starting a comedy career, that's how brutal it can be.
But I also totally recommend. I've like met so many people who are like, oh, I've always wanted to do stand up, and for me, like I had wanted to do it for a long time before I actually did it. And even though like it didn't become like the thing I was gonna do it. I mean, I was already like 38 or something when I started doing it, but it was like I fully recommend it to anyone who just wants to get up there and try to do it, even if it's just going up to an open mic like once or twice. Like
Right.
Nothing else feels like that. Like standing up there trying to make people laugh, and when it works, it feels like amazing. But also when it doesn't work, like it feels amazing too. It's just the only time where I felt like I almost like had an out of body experience was doing stand up, and I never felt that like playing music.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Yeah, because you've been playing music for a very long time. You started
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you were...
I can't like 25 years, I think.
Yeah, you started as a teenager?
Yeah.
Cool. Very quickly, I would like to ask you, so I believe the first instrument that you were given was a guitar, correct?
Yeah.
So you never got into any other instruments? I mean, obviously you did, because even your very first record, you actually recorded all by yourself.
Right. So I got into drums probably like maybe when I was like 18 or 19, I think. I feel like everyone, like when I met Kathy, she was the same way. She was a drummer, but she also played guitar and bass. Like kind of just like everyone I knew, like most people I knew like had a 4-track, and everyone really wanted to just like not be great on any one instrument, but just kind of be good enough that you could like make your own song on a 4-track or something.
Right. So like everyone was a songwriter.
I liked that idea. Sorry, what?
Like everyone was a songwriter.
Right. So it was more just like you just wanted to learn all these instruments just to fulfill your songs.
Right.
As opposed to being like, I'm going to be a great guitar player. So like I never knew, I never wanted to be like an awesome guitar player. I just wanted to play well enough where I could like write a song with it.
Yeah. Oh, it worked out even better for you than you thought.
Yeah, totally.
Let's skip on to Who Died. What do you think of that song?
I like it. It's not one of my favorites on the record, but I just like how much death is on this record.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of... It's like a really morbid record, but it's really fun at the same time, too.
Yeah, I mean, kind of within the same, like, humorous theme. Like, yeah,
Right.
it's a serious topic. It sounds like it could be taken seriously, but they don't take it that way. Like it's just
right, and it's not specific. Lyrics aren't specific enough for you to actually know exactly what's happening,
right,
or if it's a true story or not.
Well, I would assume it's not just because, like, in the chorus, how he says it's like, it was you were the one who died. You know, and it's like just repeatedly, you were the one who died.
I assume, I guess you never know, but I usually assume that people are just making stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from your own experience, I mean, you make up a lot of this stuff, right? But now
I feel like, the people that I've known who've died, I haven't really wanted to write a song about it, but I'll write a song about death and murder and people dying.
Right.
But it's usually try to keep my own life out of it, I think.
Yeah. Well, so you have a definite ability to create a somber song. You know, like think songs off the new record definitely reflect that. But the majority of the catalog from the Thermals, let's just use as a good example, is mostly just like powerful pop punk music, and it's just blazing, really. So, but even lyrical content wise, for some reason your lyrics like spoke to me, which is like I think that's weird because I'm not a big lyrics guy, but for some reason yours jumped out at me.
Right.
And so with the first record that I listened to being The Body, the Blood, the Machine, I think that was a very lyrically strong record that was like, it was reminiscent of Neutral Milk Hotel, because it had elements of like this like religious tones, which I'm not a religious person, but like I understand that, you know, people are moved by it, whichever way, either good or bad. And then there's a lot of like death references, you know, so I think that like that's why I wanted to ask you about this song, because I know that you have like this connection to death. Obviously you have some kind of fascination with it, you know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it can be funny to a degree, but obviously not if it's you're taking it as this is about somebody who I know that passed away, because that's just too sad.
Right. Unless it's going to be like a really sad song. Yeah.
Which you might want to do. I mean, it doesn't seem like that's something you strive for. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not something I analyze that much. And usually I don't have a trouble, like I rewrite things over and over until I get them how I want them to be. But I usually don't have trouble sitting down at first and kind of deciding what to write about. Usually it's kind of right there. Right. Like, I don't make a list of things I'm going to sing about or write about. Yeah. I just kind of like sit down and start doing it. Yeah, that's good. I kind of figured that. I mean, like, with as prolific as you are, I mean, like, from all the other people that I've spoken with as well that like write music, it's not something you consciously make an effort for usually. I mean, I guess there's some people, like, especially along the lines of like, you know, people that do musicals and stuff. Obviously you have to focus and hone in on a subject and then like build off of that.
Right.
But you don't create albums like that for the most part.
I mean, musicals are so different because you need those songs to like service the story, or really like be the story. Those songs have to like continue whatever the story is telling. Right. You know, whatever part of the story you're telling at that point. Right. And so they aren't really allowed to be vague in the way that a lot of like rock and pop music is. Right.
Interesting. Do you think you're gonna make a musical at some point?
No, but I've been so many times people approach me about like, oh, I want to make The Body, the Blood into a musical.
Really?
I'm like, well, sure, that sounds good, but I don't like go like they never do. Right. But sure, if someone else wants to, but I don't want to. I mean, I wouldn't want to rewrite or rework on something that I already worked on. Right. I mean, I would, if I was asked, if someone wanted to like, if they had an idea for another musical and wanted to like, I don't know, there's a lot of offers I would like consider, but it's not something where I sit around thinking I would like to make a musical.
Right. So where we left off was Suicide Invoice.
Sweet.
You ready?
Yeah, that's on rules. I love it.
Is that your favorite off the record?
What's that?
Is that your favorite off the record?
No, my favorites are coming up. My most favorite's the next track. But
okay.
Suicide Invoice. To me, the lyrics sound like he had a suicide pact with someone. What is he saying? Like
And now I answer like, to you in my sleep.
Yeah. So like every night when I dream about killing myself. but I didn't do it in real life.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Uh,
I didn't realize that either. I'm only looking at the lyrics right now, and it's funny that you said that because I mean, like I've always like it's kind of a somber song. So this one I kind
right.
of almost took a little bit more literally than that. Like that's funny. Like that's kind of a funny premise.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's fucked up. Because it's like we had a pact, and you like he just let this person kill themselves, and then they, and then I figure like the invoice is like the person sending him an invoice, like
Right.
you owe me your suicide, and
Right.
he's kind of like, I'll get around to it. You know, there's something I always used to think of this record as being like the old Matt Groening comic Work is Hell.
Oh.
Or, you know, it's like Life in Hell, but there's the book Work is Hell. There's the song Paperwork, too. And just like I Hate the Kids, it's about getting old, you know, being bitter and just going to work, too. So I feel like that's like one of the themes of this record
Yeah.
is like work is hell or work is death.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't put that together, but I do like that aspect of it, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I really like it.
So yeah, you don't you have worked some shitty jobs in your life.
Yeah, for sure. Not for a minute, but I can see it happening again. The last job I had, I worked for Stumptown Coffee in Portland
Yeah.
for like 2000, from like 2000 to 2006 or 7. So kind of right, I mean, like when the Thermals, we did our first 2 records, like we were all still working day jobs. Like I was still going, you know, coming up from tour and going right back to work at 6 a.m. at the cafe.
Oh.
And then finally with the Body the Blood, like things, it started getting so busy, and then we started doing pretty well, so we all quit our jobs. But you know, whatever, it only lasts so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I did go, I found a lot of work again, but it was all work that I wanted to do, like producing records.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Stuff
But
within.
now I feel like we're in a place where, like, I don't know how much, you know, every like couple years I'm always like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And then usually something comes through.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's the mark of a good musician. I mean, obviously, you know, you keep those feelers out and like, and diversifying. You know, it's like you don't just have
Right.
you don't just have to write songs and try to make money that way. You know.
Right.
There's the
'Cause
producing
I feel
aspect.
like, yeah, that was already kind of on its way out too. And I mean, I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to tour like the whole year or however, you know, long just to make a living, because it's not, I don't like touring that like enough to do that. So you just got to find other stuff, I think.
Right. What if you were you know, playing stadiums? Would that entice you to be on the road more or less? Do you think?
Yeah, it would. I think it definitely would. Yeah, I feel like it probably pays a little better than playing clubs or
Right.
theaters.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to know that at some point. Like, yeah, obviously it's not something that's like way too personal to like talk to somebody about that, like somebody in the business. But like when you know somebody that's like doing that, like I know one guy that's, you know, like Grammy nominated and in a very you know, popular working band. But it's just like I want to know what that's like, but I can't ask him.
But does he like it? I mean, does he seem to be enjoying it?
Oh yeah, and he misses now that, you know, being like all the tours being canceled and stuff, and not being able to be on the road. You know, it's a drag for him for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
There's an aspect that he loves being home, you know, but
Right.
there, you know, there's also the fans missing that connection and reaction
Sure,
from
it's something you
people.
probably worked so hard to get in so long to get to that point where you
Right.
don't want it to just like go away.
You know, you don't want to go away. I mean, and like, you know, it's, I don't know. I mean, I can only imagine that from my brief experience in playing music, I mean, having fans is like the best thing in the world. Like having people that like
Right.
actually appreciate what you do so much that they come out and see you and cheer and clap and they buy your records and stuff like that. And it's a thrilling experience, really, right?
Right.
Cool. I mean, you've had that experience better than I do, so.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
But, so speaking of horrible jobs, Paid in Cigarettes is next.
Okay. Yeah.
Man.
Oh, love that song. That's my favorite track on the record. And
Yeah.
it's not for the lyrics. The lyrics are cool. I mean, it seems to be kind of about like bribery or corruption in government, but it's really just that riff, just the guitars, and then the end. the end of that, or the last like minute of that song, with just like super driving guitars, just really kind of like everything's just like super anxious and frenetic and like yeah. I mean, there's just like this vibe to this record that's like just it's very kind of like unsettling. Like things are not right, but they're still kind of like enjoying themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was thinking about that humorous aspect, and that's not something I thought about before. It's only because we've been really analyzing this record,
Right.
that I'm realizing how much humor is in it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't listen to this and laugh, but now that I'm listening, like now that I'm seeing it and listening to it, I'm just like, oh yeah, I can laugh at this. This is funny.
Right.
Yeah. I actually have to go back and listen to the other records kind of the same way now and just kind of like pick up on all the inside jokes.
Yeah. I mean, they do. All those first two records, they all seem like they're cut from the same cloth. So I would bet that, yeah, they. I mean, this one I've listened to way more than the other two, but yeah, they're definitely similar.
Yeah. Now LAX is the next song. It's funny. Lyrics won't come up for this song for me.
I mean, there's not many lyrics.
Yeah. Right.
To the record at all. I mean, to the song. But yeah, that riff is so good. The way that the bass notes sit out and then jump back in. I mean, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be. I mean, I would guess that they're complaining about LAX just because that's what people do. Like, no one likes LAX, especially 20 years. I mean, no, not that it's any better now. Yeah, just like.
Right.
Just LAX sucks. It's huge. It's like a huge pain in the ass.
Is it? Yeah. See, I've never been through LAX, but I'm assuming you've been through it many times doing.
Oh yeah.
touring.
I mean, it's just like 5 terminals, and if you're stuck in one place, you're never gonna make it to an. Yeah. I think San Diego has its own airport. I don't know. I'm sure for whatever reasons they were going in and out of LAX a bunch. Yeah, but it's hard. But there's no really way to lyrics. They're not saying very much.
Yeah.
But my guess is they don't like it.
Yeah. Now, I just remembered that I wanted to ask you about this record as far as just like the reason why you chose it. Like, why did you choose it exactly? Like,
it just popped in my head. There's like, I would put it as like, I mean, there's so many bands I like, but it's just, to me, it's just one of those records that feels like complete from start to finish. And like I was saying about it being like work as hell, there does seem to be like this common bond that all the songs have. Like, I love records that they don't just sound like, well, these were the 10 or 12 songs we had written at the time. I like records where the songs all kind of fit together like a puzzle,
right.
Or without being like a concept record. Songs that all have the same kind of theme.
Well, because I was thinking like this came out in 2002. Did you see them when this record came out, or was this, or like?
No, I didn't see them till a few years later.
Okay, because 2002 when this came out, which was the first time you heard it, right?
Yeah.
By Kathy. You were already making music. You were already writing music for the Thermals, correct?
Right. The first Thermals. Oh yeah. It was probably. I mean, I had probably already written that first Thermals record when this record came out. Because the first Thermals record came out like March or April of 2003, but it was like done like for like a year and like a couple months.
Oh, okay.
Like before it came out.
Right. So, because I'm just wondering, like, how much did this album have an effect on your songwriting?
I don't know that it did. Like at the very at the very start, I don't think it. I mean, or like right when it came out, I don't think it did. It was more like a couple years later, is when it really like got to me. Like I said, when Kathy and I were working on The Body of the Blood, so that would have been like 2004 and 2005 or 2005. Yeah, for some reason, then a couple years later was when it like really hit me.
Okay.
And just started listening to it like all the time.
Yeah. Is that your dog?
Yeah, that's Billy.
Oh, okay. I've heard about Billy.
He's just hanging out under the
Oh, okay.
desk
Cool.
here.
I just didn't know if you like kicked a tambourine or something.
There he is.
Oh, look at that.
Good boy.
Cute girl.
He's very tired. Very
Yeah.
tired today.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of walking or something?
Yeah, we go to. There's a couple dog parks that we go to in the area.
Nice.
Like right when we get up. So then, just go run around for a couple hours, and then he's just like
Zonked.
exhausted the rest of the day.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
We'll probably go out again after this.
Oh, really?
Uh,
You go out twice a day?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you talking about somebody asked you if you were interested in having children at some point, and you said kind of, I believe.
I think I would still say kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the answer remains the same, but I don't know. Like, so from my experience, I have two children, and like the whole dog thing. Like, you know how some dog owners like refer to their dog as their child.
Oh yeah.
Do you do that? Do you think your dog is your child?
I mean, I would maybe like as a joke, but not
Yeah.
real. I know too many people that have kids that I wouldn't try to like equate.
Yeah. Yeah.
A dog with a kid.
Right. But the one thing that's funny about having kids, I think, that single people don't think about before they have the children, is the burden that they are on your mind. And I don't mean that because like, you know, like, oh, kids suck, like they have bad attitudes or whatever. I mean that because like your mindset changes because now you don't matter as much anymore. Like everything that you do in your life now, everything has to be for them, and you want to make sure that they live the best life they can live. Right. And the other fear is that they are going to die.
Yeah, see, I can see that for sure.
Like that is what terrifies me more than anything these days.
Oh God,
you know,
isn't that just a constant stress then?
Yeah, I mean, like, because before I had kids, I feel like I always was afraid of death. Like I always had this weird sensation, like something really horrible is going to happen. You know, like I always have this feeling like I would be walking down the street. I was just like, for some reason, a car is just going to swerve off the road and smash me. You know, and I'm just like, why do I think that?
Right.
So now I'm just like worried. Oh, that's going to now happen to my kids, and I have to.
Yeah, I can totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
seems terrifying.
It is. It is terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, and I think my wife has it worse than I do. So it's just like I can't even imagine what that's like.
Oh man.
I mean, like, so what is your? I mean, so you write about death. What is your thought on death?
It's just like so inevitable. Like it doesn't really scare me. Like I'm not like worried about dying.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just like something that is always there.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't know. Yeah, it's something I think about all the time, every day, every night before I go to sleep. But it's something that used to like bother me a lot. Like as a child, it definitely really bothered me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe like writing about it and singing about it helped. Maybe I don't really know. It's just kind of just always on my mind.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you know, I think there's a healthy fixation or fascination with it and thinking about it. Because obviously, you know, I don't think that you're suicidal, right? I mean, you're happy enough that you don't think that.
Right.
So that's good. I'm not suicidal either, but
that's good.
but the thought about death and like, you know, the dying, like it's just such a strange thing. It's just one of those things.
It's so fascinating. Yeah.
It's another one of those stupid things we're never gonna have an answer to, and everyone has an opinion on. The best opinion I've heard yet was that I was talking with this guy that I used to work with back a few years back in a restaurant, and I told him this fear of mine. I was just like, yeah, it's just so frightening because you don't know what's gonna happen. He's just like, are you kidding me? He's like, it's gonna be the most amazing voyage ever. Like so enthusiastically that I was just like, okay, man. All right, I'm on board. All right, it's going to be awesome. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, so now I'm like almost looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's coming either way. So yeah, there's no point trying to deny it.
Yeah. It's just that you know, yeah, that fascination of like how's it going to come and what am I going to feel?
Right.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's the coolest part about it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know, like, people always think, like, it would be just best to go in your sleep, but I kind of think it would be best to not go in your sleep, because you kind of want to be awake for it.
Yeah, you're right? Kind of feel what happens exactly?
Yeah,
yeah. Interesting, yeah, because I feel like it would be a bummer if you just, like, woke up or didn't wake up, and it was just like, wait, why is it still dark? Why is there still nothing going on?
Right.
Why can't I open my eyes? So, Bye Bye Nancy Boy is the next song. How do you feel about this
Cool.
song? Did you want to play it? Because, like, do you like this song?
By Nancy Boy?
Yeah, Bye Nancy Boy.
I mean, I like all these songs. I mean, it's not one of my favorites on the record.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's another kind of, I feel like if we're talking about this record having a sense of humor, this probably is one of the funnier songs on the record. Like, I feel like he's probably playing the role of someone, I don't think he's actually calling someone a Nancy Boy.
Right.
I would guess more that this is something someone said to him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look over the lyrics right now just to kind of, like, get an idea of it.
Let's look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these songs are just more of a vibe, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I do, although I really like his lyrics, like, the band is just, like, kicking ass on this record, so a lot of times to me it doesn't matter what he's saying.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, I think that this record and the one before this just rock so hard. Like, that's all that really matters.
Right.
I feel the same way about your records, by the
thanks.
way. I think, like, because I actually listened to all of them, the entire discography by today I finished.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I can see a progression, but for the most part, I think that if it's a box set, like, you put all those things in one record and just sit down with it all at once, for the most part, it's just exhausting. Because it's just so high energy, It's,
I mean, just one of them is exhausting. So
yeah, performing it for you was not an easy task.
Oh yeah, it was always exhausting. I don't miss that.
Yeah. Well, how long were your sets typically? 45 minutes or an hour?
They were like an hour with like an encore of like a couple songs. So a lot of times it was like 22, 24 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always usually just a little over an hour, which is a good amount for songs like that, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry I never got to see you guys. I wish that I could
that's okay,
have.
yeah.
And you never came to Providence, you're saying?
No, Kathy and I did when we did like some Hutch and Kathy shows, but I don't know why. Although as I'm saying it, who knows? Maybe we did. I'm almost positive we didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kathy and I played there just in like 2014 or 15.
Oh, okay.
We did like a Hutch and Kathy tour. I think it was like the 15th anniversary of that record. It must have been 2015.
Oh, okay. And do you remember where you played?
It was this really cool place, but it was small. It was like a small bar with like a short stage.
AS220?
I don't think
Like
so.
art gallery place, or?
No, it was just like a bar.
Small bar?
I forget what it was called.
Oh, okay.
I'm like really bad with names of places.
Oh, okay. That's all right. I mean, I would have liked to piece it together just to kind of figure it out. I guess I could try to look up dates like that online. Do you log your tour dates? Like, do you actually have like a log of your?
They are logged somewhere. Yeah. Oh, the Parlor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, North Main Street. Yeah, in 2014 or 2015.
2014. Yeah.
Yeah, in that year.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun.
That's a really low stage. That's like 6 inches.
Yeah, that's my favorite kind of show to play. Like, I love a low stage like that.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to talk to those guys and ask them about it, because obviously I didn't go to that show. I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't know the
There was
thermals.
a huge storm that day, and they were like telling people to stay inside, like on the radio.
Jesus.
So
How
bad
great.
timing, but fun show, super fun show.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent venue. Like, if you get an audience in there, it can be a really nice time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, so let's just skip on to Paperwork,
Okay.
being one of your favorites and all.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like
that's
that.
another one. I have no idea like what he's talking about, but
Yeah.
it is like it's like the work theme is there still because it's something so mundane.
Right.
Like Paperwork. It's like the last thing you would think a punk song would be about, but it's so fitting for this record.
Right. Well, it's definitely Paperwork being like, definitely a bane of existence. Like, regardless of what you love, like whether you're a punk or not, like the thought of like having to deal with paperwork is the worst.
Right. It's just being like crushed by the whole system.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even like doing bills at home. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. Who does? Yeah.
I give it to my wife.
Uh-huh.
She does all the finances. It's like, just I'll make money. You
Uh-huh.
you just do whatever you have to do.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want to do. I honestly I have no idea how much money we have in our bank.
That's great. That must be freeing.
Well, I mean, like I have a rough idea, but I mean, like
Uh-huh.
as far as like spending money is concerned, it's just like I was just on vacation the past 2 weeks,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't do traveling really because of the pandemic, but we did
Right.
do a couple of outings, like little
Uh-huh.
day trips. So, and I was like, I don't care. I said, just put it on the card. I don't care. Just
Right.
spend the money. Just let's have fun. Just let's be
Right.
alive for a moment.
How old are your kids?
12 and 10.
Okay, so how are they dealing with the pandemic?
Pretty fine. They
Yeah.
kind of actually sound a lot like you. They just kind of sit at home and just kind of, they like to kind of do their things. A lot of the
Right.
computer-based stuff.
Uh-huh.
But they've been mixing it up. We actually did a electronics break for
Uh-huh.
the majority of the
Nice.
summer. Yeah, so
Right.
so they have had very, very limited to almost actually no access to video games or or computers or tablets. So they've
Cool.
actually been they've been adjusting pretty well to like just kind of hanging out outside, doing stuff in the yard, riding.
That's good.
Yeah,
Do
riding
they
the scooters.
read?
My youngest does a lot of reading. He's a really, really good reader, but he's so smart that like he thinks he doesn't think enough of reading. Like he's read all
Right.
of his books and he's just like, I don't want to read anymore. So
Right.
now I have to like go get him new books, new more advanced books, because I mean like
Right.
he's
That's cool.
he's going in the 5th grade and he's definitely an advanced reader. Like
Uh-huh.
he was reading like probably like 6th grade to 7th grade reading level books, so like chapter books, like full on
Uh-huh.
they have like kind of comic aspects, but they're like full on novels really.
Right.
Yeah, so he was burning through some of those for a while now. So yeah, I just got to get him turned on to some new author really.
Cool. Right.
But my oldest is actually on the spectrum, so he has a learning disability. So it's a lot harder for him to do those things, and so we need a lot more time to do things with him, like just working on stuff. And
Right.
but he's a good reader too.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're very fortunate with how high functioning he is.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. But like I said, don't do it. But where were we going before talking about kids? Jesus.
I don't know. Next song.
Yeah. Why does it hurt? That's fitting.
Cool.
I
That
love
one's
it.
great.
I love that song.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of like one of the more. I mean, I would say all the songs are sincere. There's a sincerity to that song and kind of like a sweetness to it that's different from the other tracks, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I found it really interesting that I couldn't find a lot of facts about this record.
Yeah, I kind of like that when I feel like that's such a rarity. Like there's just so much information about everything
Mm-hmm.
out there these days. It's kind of nice when there's like a little mystery to something.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, but there are certain things I would really like to know, but maybe it's just one of
Right.
those things that will come up eventually. I mean, like this isn't a crazy like I don't know, monumental record historically, but
Right.
more years down the road. I mean, now that it's kind of gotten picked up by Sub Pop and now they're reissuing it, I'm not sure if that's going to spike their numbers more. I don't know if that's going to bring more attention to these records.
Yeah, I wonder.
But it's just a long mythology anyway. Between the band members
Yeah.
and like all of their previous bands, Rocket from the Crypt
Right,
and Pitchfork
right.
and Drive Like Jehu. It's gonna be like a legacy anyway. I'm just kind of
For
curious.
sure.
It'll be fun to see where it ends up like
Right.
many years from now.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, 'cause it's weird what people like. When I was younger, like Drive Like Jehu was so huge and like thought of as like such a massive like influential band, but I don't even know if people today think of them in the same way.
Well,
Like it's weird what kind of disappears.
yeah. Well, so it's funny that you said that because I thought that this was going to be like possibly a big question for you as far as in regards to this record, but I think that there is at least here on the East Coast and in this city, there are many people that I know that think Drive Like Jehu is the best thing ever. Still,
Right. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But so there's a divide between the Hot Snakes and Drive Like Jehu fans, I
Oh,
think.
really? Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, so would you call yourself more of the Hot Snakes camp?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think Drive Like Jehu's bad. It just never, like, really meant that much to me. Like, I just
Yeah.
wasn't in that place when they were, when they were around. But I can definitely see, there are people I know who, like, all the Hot Snakes is just the band that came after, Drive Like Jehu or Rocket from the Crypt.
Right.
But for me, it's like, I feel like it's kind of like the end of all that stuff. I feel like it all led to Hot Snakes.
Yeah.
I definitely know a lot of people that feel that way, but it's weird what it just all depends on how old you were and where you were and what you were listening to when stuff came out and when stuff hit.
Yeah, I think that's true. I was actually just thinking about that, like in relation to people, people's developmental periods listening to music, which is why I'm so fascinated in talking to you guys, like talking to musicians like you, and asking you like, hey, so what was like the first record you bought? Like, what were you listening to growing up? Because especially like as you got into the junior high school period, high schoolish age, that's the stuff that sticks with you, it seems like, from what I'm gathering.
For sure.
From everyone I'm speaking with. It's just like those are the records that typically people will choose for the show to talk about, because it's like it's the ones that really like they've listened to like constantly. It's like one of those things that like you constantly pull out of your collection and put on to listen to.
Right.
So this is that for you, like a record that you would kind of
It's
like.
one of them. I mean, first, this one I'll listen to it a lot. Like I won't let much time go by without listening to this record.
Right.
This is just a great record. This record's great, especially I Hate the Kids. Like when a record starts that well, like if I'm in a really good mood, I can put this record on. But if I'm in a really bad mood, like that's a great song and record to put on too.
Yeah. So either motion.
Yeah.
That's great. We'll move on to the next song, Unlisted.
Okay. Yeah, that one's so cool too, and that one like the last song, it kind of has this like personal, sentimental side to it that the earlier songs don't have.
Yeah, I personally feel like this record trails off near the end. Like I kind of start losing interest a little bit. Maybe lyrically, maybe because it's not that same abrasive like screaming thing he usually does.
Right.
But I mean, they're not bad songs by any means. I mean, I think that they're good rock songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I feel like I just start drifting off at this point. By Why Does It Hurt? I think to the end.
Right. The last track is super good. Should we hear the last one?
Ben Guren, yeah.
Yeah, that's it's kind of a weird song to end on. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Ben Guren to know exactly why he loves it. I mean, I don't know anything about Rick Froberg's like history or like what his
Yeah, I don't either. But do you know who Ben Guren is?
Yeah.
So
he's like one of the founders of Israel. Like, I think it's first, but like prime minister. But
yeah, I didn't know that. I had to look that up now.
Yeah, I don't know what Rick's connection to, or like how, I can't tell. I mean, obviously he likes Ben Gurion, like according to the lyrics.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those inside jokes. I mean, it could be that, or it could be sincere. No
I know,
idea.
It's hard. For some reason, I always thought he was being sincere, but I have no, I don't.
He's a tough read, this Rick.
He is. He's complex, I think. He's very complex.
Have you ever met this band?
Yeah, really briefly. Just the last time they played Portland, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
They were all super nice.
Yeah. So, going back to the idea of this record being influential on you, like I can see a connection. You just said that they didn't have any effect on your songwriting style, perhaps, really, right?
Well, I think there's so many records that you like when you're working on songs, and there's like very indirect ways that you like are influenced. Like Hot Snakes is such like a 2 guitar band, and there's so many of the songs are really like assembled with two guitars, and they need both guitar parts to work. Whereas so many of my songs, there might be a lead, but mostly it's a single guitar part. So like if you look to like Ramones or Nirvana or stuff, you'll really see the songs that like directly influence me. All the songs that are really written with and like driven by one guitar, because I just love that simplicity. And we've worked with two guitar players sometimes, but it's usually just to kind of double things up or to put a lead or a solo on something. But the stuff that like really like where you can draw real parallels, I think, from the songs I've written, other people's songs, are more like single guitar bands.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, this band does have a different kind of like vibe to it, but
for sure.
But still like the kind of beat you over the head intensity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's belligerent, which I like.
In a good way, in an enjoyable way.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I want to ask you one more question.
Sure.
So, now you've been playing music for a long time, since you were a teenager. What was the first band and what was the first release you ever got to put on vinyl?
I had a band called Urban Legends that Kathy also played in, and I did an LP in '98, and I'm actually getting it remastered right now. And I'm gonna put it on Bandcamp in like a month. I'm gonna put it up there whatever the next Bandcamp day is. September 4th or 5th. Yeah.
All right.
And that was on vinyl. I had done, there were a couple 7 inches too, but that was the first like LP that I did.
Oh, okay. Well, what was the first 7-inch then?
That was also, the band was called Urban Legends. There were like a couple just like singles that were on vinyl.
Cool. So you're going to put this out on Bandcamp, but only as a digital, I presume.
There is some vinyl. I think maybe I have like 20 or I got to count them up. Yeah, there's like 20 or 30 copies of it that I will sell there as well.
Oh, okay. But those
the thing is, it's like one of those things where I know there's more records out there somewhere. Someone has a box or two in their basement, but I'm not sure who. But I'll sell them when I find them.
Well, so who put out the Urban Legends catalog?
It was this label called Audio Information Phenomena, and they were from Oakland. Or like San Mateo, but pretty much Oakland.
And I thank you for doing the show, and thank you for bringing this record back to my attention and letting me analyze it with you a little bit.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And I look forward to seeing the new record, and best of luck with it, and I hope you get back out on the road at some point soon.
Cool. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you. Vinyl and Vision is a Static production. Theme song written and performed by Jeff Robbins of 123